everybody. We're about ready to get... Ooh, music's still very loud. Oh, we're about to get started right now. In fact, let's do some tests. Let's pause that and instead get this going. Now they can hear you. Thank you. You're right. I'm just going to put
Gex.
limited run game.
Gex is back, baby.
Fucking Gex.
It never left in my heart. It always been inside my heart, inside me. Gex been inside
Gex
me.
is always inside all of us.
Gex loves to be inside me.
Mike wonders why
loves
everyone
to
thinks he has
inside me.
bad taste, and then he's out here defending Gex.
Yeah, because it's completely defendable. Like, you people boomers who only ever heard, like, stories about, like, the character being... I'll get into it later.
Sorry, everybody.
Totally fine.
Sorry, everybody. Hang on.
Manscaped, huh?
Yeah, no, not quite. What is... Okay, that's still going. That's what it is. Why won't this... Oh, it's changing on my phone. Okay, I see now. I set my phone up as a stream deck, and now it's... Okay, there we go. Decides.
Decides.
Decides, brother.
That's right, brother.
You guys are not hearing that because the routing is not correct, but you guys will hear it.
It's not that Gex is, like, terrible. It's just, it's a weird hill to die on.
Heard that?
I'm not dying on it. I'm just
He
saying
just says
people are like...
He says it's not terrible the way that people make it out to be.
It's not. It's not a Bubsy 3D, not even remotely close. They're all at least competent platformers.
3D. You guys heard that music, right?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
I believe we're ready besides the tweet, but other than that, I think we're good.
All right, I've tweeted, though, and I got stream elements open.
I'm going to skeet it first.
Paste some bills.
Yeah, you should skeet it. Oh, I'm gonna re-skeet it.
Skeet, motherfucker.
I wanna re-skeet it.
I don't think I've posted on Blue Sky yet.
I love Blue Sky.
It's fun.
I legit like...
That's right, I should skeet it, too.
I'm sure I would if I took the time to actually, like, follow everyone.
I spent like I literally spent like 2 hours like following people and like searching for people that I like on Twitter on Blue Sky. It's like,
yeah, I had to like spend an afternoon doing this.
Now I like this timeline. It's a good timeline now, brother.
Twitter
I don't know. It reminds me of old.
Morning.
Twitter
I wish
breaks for me on and off. Like I try to type in it and it's like a fucking 4090 13900K and it still takes a full minute to type out the whole sentence I just wrote. And I'm like, this is a trash website. And then they're like, we'll give you money. I'm like, okay, well, let's think about this.
What is this money thing?
If you are subscribed to Twitter Blue and you get 5 million impressions per month for the last 3 months, you are eligible for them to pay you money on ad revs.
That is so
Like,
stupid.
how much?
I thought they didn't have any money.
Right.
They
Where's
don't.
this money coming from?
I don't know, but like fucking terrible people are getting like, hey, we're giving you $25,000. So
What?
Yes.
Oh my god.
And I'm like,
That's fucking nuts.
So I get about 13 million impressions, 10 to 13 million impressions per month. And so I'm like, I could make money, but if I have to have a fucking Twitter Blue thing, I'm not going to make that money. And then fucking Wario64 is like, if you have 100 million followers, you just get the money no matter what. Like, of course you do.
Wario's happy. Well, all right, let's
Yes, I am working on it. Let's see here. I think we got to count us in. No, I didn't tweet. I just skeeted. All right.
Skeeted. Yeah, the thing about Blue Sky, it reminds me of like old Twitter, like 2009 Twitter. You know what I mean?
Oh my god, it's doing it again. The fucking website sucks. It's just like I type and the letters take forever to show up.
Yep.
Terrible website.
I haven't had that problem, I have to say.
I did have that problem.
That one, it happens for me one day, it won't happen the next. It'll happen for me on twitter.com, and then it will stop, and then it starts happening on TweetDeck instead.
Yeah.
It's
TweetDeck's still alive?
I think it's for people that follow a lot of people.
Extension to bring it back to the old TweetDeck.
Oh.
And it's like that they keep killing that, and so like they keep trying to update it to keep it working, but it's not going to work forever. All right, everybody, let's see. I think we are going to get started. Mike, are you good to go?
Yes, I am.
Let me test this one more time. We sound good, right? We're sounding good. Okay, I think we're good.
Seems all yum yum.
Let me get this here. When you're yummy.
Yum, yum, yum. Yum, yum, yum.
Yum, yum, yum. Yum, 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 yum.
Okay, here we go. I'm counting us in 5, 4, 3. internet. You're busy. Let's do this. Welcome to the Game Mess Decides podcast. This is the podcast where we decide everything about the world of games so you never have to think for yourself. I'm your host, Jeff Grubb, and with me is
Mike Minotti.
In today's episode, the best game of the year, 1995, and somehow still the FTC. But first, Mike, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm leaving for a little weekend bachelor party trip
Leaving
tomorrow.
Las Vegas.
Yeah, Viva Rock Vegas.
Viva Rock Vegas, of course, yes. You're leaving, so it's not local.
It's in Cleveland, so
right,
like,
that's
I'm
right.
gonna go there.
Right. Hey, come get these CPUs this weekend. Or
yes, I want to get
some GPU.
I want to get the stuff off of you, and then
my house is a mess. You're just gonna come over. I'm sorry, it'll be a mess.
Maybe you can meet us at one of our. Maybe if we go to 16-bit or something, you can meet us.
Let me know. I would love that. That'd be great.
But it's like I don't know. Like I just never really like even thought of getting ready for this. Even though I am gonna like be sleeping there for 2 nights, so I'm like, oh, I need to like kind of prepare some things. I gotta like make a bag. I gotta make sure people can come like take Penny out and stuff.
Oh boy, yeah. It's like I know what you mean about those kinds of things where it's like big work trips, things you're going like things you've been planning on, and then it's like get invited to something. You're like, yeah, I'll make that. It's okay. It's a couple towns over, hour and a half away. All right, I'll deal with that when it comes. And then when it's there, it's like, oh shit, this is still another thing you actually have to do stuff for. So yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I don't know. Like because of my it's just like some fun weekend thing. I was like, I don't have to like bring stuff or like take care of things. I have to take care of some things before I leave tomorrow now because it's too late now. But that's okay. We'll get there.
Yep. I don't know. I got a chair. I got a recliner here. I'm pretty happy about it. Put it together in between John Bomb working this today.
You should use that for your computer like Dan and then
bad back.
Yeah.
Get a blood clot and go to the hospital. Yeah.
Blood clot and gout.
Yeah. I am going to treat myself and play video games in that at night before I go to bed. That's the plan.
There you go.
That's what it is. I have this whole setup over here, but the chair I had for it was like kind of like this weird, super cheap hammock thing. And it was very uncomfortable for me. And so I find myself not going there to play games. And this has solved that. So I'm pretty excited about that. All right, let's get into it. First, thank you for joining us. You can get more from Mike and me by joining the Discord at GameMess.net. Give us a good rating wherever you are listening and hit that like button on YouTube, please. It helps people find the show. If you want to ask a question, you could drop a super chat during the show here on YouTube. We will get to all those super chats before the end of the program. Thank you to Carlos Ian, who's Insane in the Rain music on YouTube for the use of our theme songs. Thank you to 1UP versus CPU for our artwork. You can find more of him at 1UpVersusCPU.com. We are on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and wherever pods are caught. Thank you to the mods and support us by going to patreon.com/GameMess. That gets you access to private channels in our Discord, the monthly Q&A, 1 month early access to our Jeopardy games, participation in our monthly game club discussions, and of course, all of our shows ad-free. All right, Mike, I got some big topics to discuss. And of course, let's just start. FTC, Microsoft won the case for the preliminary injunction. The judge was almost scolding towards the FTC about, hey, your case was surprisingly weak.
Your case sucked, dude.
Your case sucked. She, in so many words, said, you argued really well for Sony, and you didn't argue very well for consumers, which is what I need you to do. And again, that's in so many words, but like going over it, that is what she said. That's what she was trying to imply. Of course, the FTC has the right to appeal. And it was like there was some back and forth about will they appeal, because usually they lose these appeals, and the FTC typically gives up after losing out on a preliminary injunction. That is not happening, and that's like if you go back to I think we discussed this on Tuesday on Last of the Nintendogs. At that point, we were saying the FTC, Lena Khan, probably will do this because she always does this. She exhausts every avenue, and here we are. That's exactly what they're doing. They've indicated to the court that they are going to file an appeal, and that's going to go to the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. What this means in reality, Microsoft is responding, saying, hey, we're disappointed, blah, blah, blah. It might come down to whether or not, because they're appealing, if the FTC could still get basically an extension on their temporary restraining order, which is similar to the injunction. It prevents Microsoft from closing the deal. That is what they're going for. I think that would be pretty weird if they lost the court case to get the preliminary injunction, which would have definitively stopped Microsoft from closing the deal in the United States for now until they actually got done with the trial. They lost out on that opportunity, and they're still asking for exactly that. It would be weird. I have a little issue with the FTC continuing to press on this. I think that's their job, and they view this as a viable strategy. I think that's completely fine and fair, and I personally am glad they're doing it because I like this level of scrutiny on big business. I think overall that keeps it pretty healthy. It is weird, though, that they gave such a weak case and yet still might get exactly what they want. So I don't know. How do you feel about all this, Mike?
Yeah, I guess that part of it is weird. I mean, doesn't that have to happen soon, though? Because like Microsoft...
18th, 5 days is when the deal is it needs to close, or Microsoft either owes $3 billion or they have to make some new negotiation and stuff like that. But they want to close. So, yes, it needs to happen soon.
Right, exactly. Sorry, just almost got turned into a ghost by that awful super chat. We'll get to that later.
Oh Jesus.
So I don't know. I guess something's got to happen tomorrow as another development on this thing. Again, it would seem weird for me if this appeal gets granted. Because again, it was such a weak case that they had. It seems like they were pretty definitively shot down by the judge there. It's not like. What did they say in their filing of it? It's that they think, the judge is looking at this wrong, right?
Yes, they're just like they implied some issues without actually spelling anything out, as far as I could tell. I haven't looked too closely at that, but the Microsoft reply to that was they didn't point out anywhere where the judge acted inappropriately or made any mistakes. It's like there's nothing like that. They're just saying vaguely the judge didn't think about it exactly right. And it's like, whose fault is that? I mean, what are we... You had a chance to argue this case in a much better way than you did, and you didn't. And it's at a certain point, it does feel like a waste of everybody's time. And I don't... Taxpayers' money gets wasted on... We're shifting this all the time. I don't give a shit about that.
I saw Mike Ybarra do that for the Blizzard Prison. And other people.
Yeah, Mike Ybarra. Sorry, go fuck yourself on that one. I do not want to hear that. That is. There's so many more things that you could be pointing to about wasting taxpayers' money. I don't care.
It's always it's like will somebody think of the children thing? It's always actually I don't like this, but I'm gonna
1,000%
shield in this flag. Shut up, you don't care about the taxpayer money.
Yep. So it is. But it does seem like you were wasting people's time who are involved in this. But that's their job and they're gonna get paid. So well. I think that if the Microsoft has won in court the right to close this deal, it feels like to me, and they should be able to close it. And if the FTC wants to continue pressuring them after that, fair enough. But I want the deal to close so we can just get it behind us and move on and see what the world looks like when it's actually done. So we can start talking about other aspects of this deal other than the will they, won't they. But of course, that's what we want. We've been talking about it for 18 months straight. Just because we want it doesn't mean it needs to happen. But I'm going to stop getting my hopes up for it to go away anytime soon. I think one of these days we're going to get to a point where suddenly it does just go away, but it doesn't feel like we're exactly there yet. So,
and what's the fastest it can go away? If tomorrow, they just Microsoft say, we're buying them, and the appeal wasn't approved in time or whatever, so it doesn't matter. Then the options are limited somewhat there. I know there's a lot they can do even after the deal closes at the FTC. But it seems like something's going to happen over in the UK, and that's might be getting turned around or smoothed over. So maybe there's still light at the end of the tunnel here. I don't know. Right. Maybe we're going to wake up tomorrow and find out that the appeal's been granted, and it's going to just happen again.
Yep, exactly. It's impossible to know, as always. We could say, it looks like it's going to go this way based on, the judges are of a certain predilection, and this is what's happened in the past and precedent and all that stuff. And, not time and time again, but a handful of times throughout this process, that stuff has not panned out the way that experts predicted because it's different than previous times. Or the people who are running the FTC are different than what the FTC has been in the past. So they've gone a different route. That surprised people. So trying to predict what's going to happen next, again, continues to be a fool's errand. We just keep trying to lay out the groundwork here for people to understand. You did mention that the CMA and Microsoft are negotiating. They're renegotiating. They've paused their appeals process. Microsoft's paused its appeals process in the UK so that it can just sit down and talk with the CMA. Although the CMA says if you present a new version of this deal, we might have to do another investigation, causing more time. So if they like, basically the timeline is this thing closes in the next, probably early next week, is probably what Microsoft's aiming to do, barring any new injunction or new temporary restraining order in the United States. And these other things continue to be a nuisance in Microsoft's background. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Okay. Couple other stories from this week. And again, if you guys have any questions or any comments about this, feel free to send them over. We'll discuss them all. Just hit that super chat button and let us know. The Borderlands movie is been in production for quite some time. They finished principal filming in 2021. I'm going from memory here now, Mike. So if there's anything
That's
you want to
correct,
add.
2021.
They have been in post-production since. They've done some pickup shots, but that has been done with a different director. And one of the writers, Craig Mazin, who is Emmy nominated because of The Last of Us, and he previously worked on Chernobyl, he took his name off the project and instead is using an Alan Smithy-like name, a pseudonym for when you don't want to be associated with something that you think is very, very bad or a complete mess. That is the state of that right now. When people talk to actors who have been in it, like Jamie Lee Curtis, she says things like, "It's wacky," and to the point where it's like, what is that? What do you mean by that? Like, she's like, I don't know, it's wacky.
It's real wacky.
And it's crazy. Like, you can imagine just like looking over at Randy Pitchford bothering people on set and be like, what a fucking wacko.
Real sweaty. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know about this one. They finished filming with people like Cate Blanchett and Jamie Lee Curtis and a whole bunch of other really famous people, Kevin Hart. Those people got paid. They're going to have to recoup something on this. So they're going to put something out, but I bet it's going to be real bad. I'm kind of leaning towards like UV Bowl almost levels of bad. Maybe obviously not that bad. The productions will be the production like values will be better, but I am kind of pulling for it to be so bad that it's good. I think that's the best case scenario for Borderlands. What do you think?
Well, see, I like forgot about this movie, and then the story came out. I was like, oh yeah, Randy Pitchford was on the set bothering Kevin Hart like forever ago.
Yep.
Why did that movie not come out?
Here it is.
So here we go. Now I'm kind of excited to see this movie.
This
is the best
want it to be an extension.
This movie's had.
Yeah, I want it to be an extension of Randy Pitchford's aura, his personality, which is just like obnoxious and weird and paisley. Like that's what I want the movie to look like and be like. So it sounds like that's kind of what we're getting. The person that's directing the pickup, so like this, this is something that's happened with other like big studio films. You can point to Rogue One. Had one director, and Gareth Edwards, and then they brought in what's his name? They actually ended up doing Andor, Tony something. But he came in, he took over the pickups and like sort of actually got it over the finish line and really
released a bad movie.
Yes, released a movie. I'm not a fan of either, really. But like that's something that there's another Solo, the same thing. Where like there was the Miller and what's his name, Lord and Miller, and then they had fucking Opie.
Backdraft Man.
The
only person who associates him with Backdraft.
Yes, Apollo 13 Backdraft Man.
And you stole Christmas, Ron Howard.
Ron Howard, thank you, Mikey O'Leary, appreciate that. Yes, and so he came and took over. That's something that does happen. But usually it's like very weird things happening behind the scenes. Clearly that's what's happening here, though, because we already have Craig Mazin confirmed he's taking his name off the project. So Tim Miller did the first Deadpool, which seems like someone who'd be a good fit for a Borderlands, I think. But how much can he do at this point in the process?
Yeah, exactly. We'll see. I mean, this movie's going to come out in some shape or form. It's going to be really, even the best case in the best of worlds, how successful could a Borderlands movie really be? It was weird that they got so many stars for this thing. Honestly, Cate Blanchett was always the weirdest.
Yes. So it's just such a weird fit. I hate the thought of Randy Pitchford talking to Cate Blanchett.
It's disgusting.
I hate it. It's disgusting.
How dare you?
Yes, leave her alone. Okay. Bungie got a big win in court this week, talking about people winning in court. They brought a case against a sociopathic fan that was harassing some of their employees, doing things like sending pizza to their house and threatening them.
It's one specific community manager a lot with that pizza thing. And like the pizza thing wasn't just like a prank pizza call. this person would send the person threats, and then like the pizza thing would be like, hey, make sure you knock really loudly at like 11 p.m. because I'm gonna be wearing headphones. So you get like threatening messages, and then they're like it's terrifying.
Yep, and it's the whole idea is to scare them and to terrorize them. It is diet terrorism. It really is. It's like trying to, we talk about this in our community, line stepping. Like this is a vulgar, like it's just obviously over the line, but it's like in their mind they're like, oh, I'm just poking at it, and I'm just gonna send a pizza to their house. Who doesn't want pizza? But it's like this is stuff that keeps people up at night and makes them feel unsafe in their home, and it's stuff that should be, when you think about it, regulated and illegal. But like the laws around this haven't really kept up with technology and communities and like the social reality. And Bungie took this person to court with the idea of establishing new precedent. And that's exactly what happened. This person owes Bungie now $500,000 as their costs for what they needed to do to protect this person from the community member. And it was like the whole idea was this person feels unsafe because of their job. And so as their employer, we have to take the responsibility of protecting them. And so we're incurring costs. But why are we incurring costs? Because this person is doing something that should not be allowed. And the court found that's exactly the case. We will 100% agree with that. So now, and that is a new precedent. That is something new. They said it's a new tort. I don't understand tort laws and how that works. But I do understand the idea of establishing a precedent. And that's what this did here. So in the future, when someone does something and hurts or attacks or scares someone because of the work they do, their employer now has both the mandate to protect them and the legal sort of backing to protect them, because they know that they can sue the person responsible and get those costs back. And I think it's a big change, and I think it's an overall very good thing. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I think it's a good thing. We're seeing some other kind of like nice inroads. Similarly, Microsoft has that new program on Xbox where you can like easily record things that are said to you. So it should be a lot easier to report people who, say weird, offensive things on Xbox Live. So, hopefully like we can just do some things to tidy up some of this weird gamer behavior that has been there ever since online gaming started in the 90s.
And then the culture war sort of attached itself on top of these things and made it so much worse in so many cases. I mean, someone's in chat saying, hey, tell that to Bud Light and Target. And that's exactly right. Like Bud Light and Target being afraid to back up their employees and people that they work with because they're afraid of the backlash, and that backlash getting more weaponized and more targeted and more sophisticated in hurting these companies and hurting these employees. It's like this is an ongoing battle, and it gets amplified every day. It gets a little bit worse, and so there had to be a line in the sand drawn, and it's being drawn here. So it's like it is an ongoing fight. It's something that will continue to happen, but I continue 100% to be. If you employ people, it is your responsibility to ensure that they are protected from the psychopaths in your community. Like it is your job to do that.
Good on Bungie.
Yes, well done. That's something to be proud of, 100%. And the lawyers that worked on this case were out on Twitter talking it up. They have there's at least one of them that has a tweet thread about it, and it was you could tell that they were very proud because they just worked nonstop to get this exact result was what they were going for, and they got it. So well done. The next thing I have written down here is bear sex.
Go on.
Bear sex is in Baldur's Gate 3. Basically, I think a wizard has sex with.
Hey, wait a second. Hey, X-Bot Limiter. One more weird thing from you, and you're done. Even with the money, you're being
not
full
money.
Mask off today, man.
Yep.
Jesus.
Let's see here. That's police state tactic. Oh my god.
Jesus Christ.
So you can have, what is it called? The person that's in touch with nature and like a fantasy
Christian
world.
already had enough. That's fine, Christian. You took care of it. Thank you. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. A wizard has sex with a druid, but the druid turns into a bear first and then has sex with the bear. If that sounds exciting to you, you're not alone, because apparently this reveal was a big part of getting people excited about Baldur's Gate 3, in which you can do exactly that thing I just described.
Yeah.
And apparently the sales are popping off for that game now. And
there were also like just preview events in
course
general.
there
Dan
were.
Reichert was there, but
Yes.
I do think that viral clip of a person having sex with a bear
Well, Dan did that video, or both those videos I think that GameSpot have put up so far, and we got another one going up on Giant Bomb soon. They're doing very well because I think people are interested in that game because of the bear sex clip, but also because they were just interested in the game, and that clip reminded them. And now there's a huge appetite for stuff from that game, so it's all just sort of feeding into one another. But that game's been in early access for a long time, and it's getting ready to launch later this month, right? I think it's like July 27th or something. So it's imminent, and people are really popping off for it. Is it August? Okay.
Might be, I'm not sure.
But I'll tell you what, it's working on me.
August 3rd. Thank you, Gabriel.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's working on me. When I that bear sex clip and seeing pictures from it, I'm like, this looks crazy. I'm like, I can't believe a game is just doing this. And I'm like, I'm so glad a game is doing something, is being this strange. That sounds like a good time.
Yeah, and it's like I guess I kind of wanted to not care because there's been so many games, and there's gonna be Starfield not too long after this. But this company has made pretty good games, and it seems like they have this bigger IP, and they maybe aren't going to fumble the ball there. This could be another big deal. It could just be another notch on this absolutely ridiculous year that we've had. So
it feels like it's going to be too.
Dan, check it out.
Dan checked it out, and he went to the studio and checked it out and talked to them. He went to Ghent.
He didn't yell at them all for being nerds for liking fantasy the whole time.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure he was being pretty aggressive, and then I think the bear sex won him over. But he came out of that saying, the game looks really good too, because he accepted the travel from the whole thing, because he was like, I'm gonna go there and discover my family, because my family is from Belgium originally. And he talked to some people he's pretty sure he's related to. And then as part of this, he's like, well, of course I'll see the game. That's why I'm here. And he's like, you know what? The game actually looks really great. And it's not a Dan game at all. So I think that's kind of where I think that's where Baldur's Gate 3 is going to lie, where it's going to actually win over a lot of people who didn't realize CRPGs were possibly one of their games that they could like. So, yeah. Yeah, go ahead. What's up?
Oh, Christian has something to say.
No, the multiplayer of these games are really, really fun.
Well, yeah, this is the Divinity Original Sin 2 team. Well, that both those games, their multiplayer works like you can have, you can kind of go anywhere, right? Like you could be doing something in one part of the world, and I could be in a completely different part of the world, but it's all happening at the same time, right?
Yes, it's all happening at the same time. You can start a fight, and then your friend can be in another part of the world, and then just make his way to the fight and join the fight at any time. It's really, really good. Yep.
And so that's one of the things that they said is that split screen co-op works that way, and that's one of the issues with the Xbox Series S version. And they're like, we're not going to ever take that out. It's too important to the experience.
I think Idkey brought this up in chat. It's kind of interesting. I imagine if you were playing D&D, there would be some dungeon masters who would reprimand you if you said, I'm going to turn into a bear and have sex with the other player, right?
Nope.
I wonder if this is going to be a little much for some people. I think it's funny right now. I do also think it's very stupid.
Oh, yeah, it's very stupid. But there are a lot of D&D games. At least, I haven't played D&D, but
you're such a cool guy.
Yeah, I don't. Listen, one day I'll be an actual cool guy and play D&D. I would love to. But I've listened to a handful of D&D podcasts, and those are trying to be entertaining, but those are the exact kind of thing where they would absolutely have sex with a bear.
They would definitely fuck the bear.
They would definitely fuck the bear.
Would it be, even if the bear was friendly, I feel like it'd be dangerous to fuck a bear.
Well, I think, isn't that what makes it hot?
Well, I don't want to ask the question I want to ask.
Fair enough. I've learned a lot in the past few months, and when you say something like that, it's usually best to just let it lie.
How big are bear dicks?
Oh my God!
I'll say that human dicks are definitely bigger.
Really?
Yeah. So humans have the biggest dicks of all mammals, I believe, except for maybe elephants and whales. But gorillas, right? Gorillas are way bigger than us. Our dicks are way bigger than gorillas.
What about horses?
How do you know this information?
Because what? Maybe I'm thinking of primates. Maybe it's not mammals. It might just be primates. So maybe, so maybe bears have way bigger dicks. I don't think so, though. Done your research, yeah.
Listen, one way to find out.
When you're an artist, you need to know these things. All right.
All right.
Okay. I don't know. Hey, fucking the bear is got to be. We got to define what does that mean when a game is fucking the bear? Does that mean
it means it's it's kind of
it's going
almost selling out a little bit, but if it works, it's all right, that's fine.
Yeah, it's like almost like too much. But yeah, okay, I'm fine with that. The Black Panther game that I talked about like a year ago has been confirmed. They just said it. They just said the thing that it's exactly what we reported, that it is from the studio that EA just founded a couple years ago in Washington State, from the people that previously worked on the Shadow of Mordor games. They are now under EA, and they're making a Black Panther game, and it's going to be single player narrative, and probably have some open world elements to it and stuff like that. But I don't know. This sounds pretty cool. They didn't show anything from it. That is not the kind of announcement that they had. It was definitely the, hey, we need help, we're hiring people announcement.
Right.
But I think this is pretty exciting. But as with all of these big license games, I am very much wait and see, because I just don't know if I'm going to care until I'm playing it.
Yes, I'm sorry. There's so many YouTube chats I have to allow because they're talking about bear dicks. Yeah, well, I always pop a bit, Jeff, when something you tell me about like years ago actually does happen.
Yeah,
so here
it's fun,
it is.
huh?
Yeah, I think that almost the bigger deal here is the spinning up of a new studio, one that's going to be able to tackle a big project like this, and hopefully more in the future. Yeah, who knows how interesting this game is going to be. We've seen it go both ways with these superhero games in recent memory. But, Black Panther is a very interesting character. That's obviously a very specific world he inhabits. There should be a lot of promise there. Hopefully they can figure this all out.
Yes, that's I think right. Promise is right there. But what does the execution look like? That's why it's always like wait and see for me, because I can imagine a great version of this game. Of course I can. Since I'm a kid, I've imagined great versions of comic book characters in video games. Rarely does it actually work out that way. And it feels like these days it requires more time and money and expertise than ever before. And that stuff is all hard to come by. So I think it's fair to be very skeptical of this, which most people are. I ran a poll on Game S Mornings, and a lot of this is going to be, I just don't care about that character or EA games. But 25% said they're excited about it. 75% said no. Yeah, obviously that's something that changes when they see the first trailer and it looks like something they believe in. But as of today, people are just like, no, I'm skeptical of that. And I get it. I think that's fair. Last thing I have here is Limited Run Games had LRG3, their showcase, their third one ever. It looked really fun. They had a ton of cool announcements in there. Shantae, the Lost Shantae game for Game Boy Advance. They're bringing that
exciting.
back. There was the Gex collection, right? It's a Gex 1, 2, and 3.
Gex 1, 2, and 3, kind of a HD remastering sort of thing, I think. I forget. I actually don't know how much is going into it. I'm kind of excited for this. I had no problem with Gex as a kid. It definitely got worse as it went along, but Gex 1 was kind of a fun 2D platformer. It was also like, it was a 3DO game, so at the time, it was one of the best-looking 2D games in the world, funnily enough. A lot of that humor, aged really badly in a way that upset people, and that now I think we would find
easy to make fun of too, right? Yes.
Yeah. Oh, I think that's why some people are like, oh, Gex, those must be those are terrible games, right? It's like, no, they're just kind of annoying. They are so DreamWorks, nothing but pop culture references all the time, but the gameplay of them are just completely competent platformers. I am kind of excited to play them again.
Yeah, I am. I'm excited as well, or at least I'm very curious. I'm very interested to go back to Gex, because I rented them a couple times and I don't remember having strong feelings one way or the other. I know I didn't think they were bad, but I don't know if I thought they were great either. So I'm I'll go back and look at it with new eyes. Also
with eyes unclouded by hate.
Exactly, with eyes unclouded. I can Ashitaka that shit. I also think Tomba,
yeah.
Toomba.
That was a big Hollywood video game for me, man. I would rent Tomba a bunch and always enjoy it.
Tomba's got such a great look and style. It was like a cinematic, Saturday morning cartoon anime, but also a platformer video game you could play. And I always looked at it from afar, and because I didn't have a PlayStation at that time. And I was just like, man, that looks like so much fun. And I know people love Tomba. Jan is a big Tomba fan.
He's a really big Tomba fan.
So I am definitely going to check that out. And I think
Clock Tower. That's a cool one to see.
Clock Tower also is coming. There was a lot of great announcements. I'm actually going to see if I can get a full
especially
list here.
it's preservation's coming up as an interesting topic again.
Right.
Video Game History Foundation's been talking about that. So it's nice to see some of these things happening while we're working on hopefully a bigger, more permanent solution for preservation. But anytime we find a way to repackage old games, or even better, like with Shantae Advance, release an unfinished, unreleased game somehow, that's cool.
I think RZ, the Jewel of Faramore, looks great. Did you see this one, Mike?
Yes. Oh, this looks so good. This is the game.
Explain to people what it is, please.
They're just making like a modern Zelda CDI game.
That's exactly what it is, and exactly.
It is hilarious how they nailed that animation, specifically like the weird way the characters kind of move away and then suddenly toward the camera.
Yes, and they're like
morphing chunks.
Yeah,
like over here, like 5 seconds they're here, then they're suddenly like back here.
Yeah,
then they're here.
Because there's the inconsistency between the frames isn't like typical cell animation. Like I would love to like actually know how they do that. I hope there's like a behind the scenes.
It was like
on
some Russian studio that did all that stuff originally, but they like completely nailed the look, and they'll probably make the game itself a lot better now. So yeah, this is like way high up on my list. No, that's incredible.
The making of Karateka. How do you okay,
so Jeff, how do you say the martial art? How would you pronounce that?
I would say as an American, karate.
Just add ka to the end of
that.
Yeah,
but it's definitely not karate-ka. You got to say at least
karate. That is what it is.
It's got to say at least karateka.
Okay.
Where are these mods coming from?
I know, right?
It would be karate, so it would be karateka.
Okay, karateka. Yes, that's I'm okay with that one. Karateka is the one that really does. That sounds wrong.
Because karate ain't right, bro.
Yeah, but that's how people say it. Karate.
Yeah.
So I learned a fun trick from Dan.
What's that?
I learned a fun trick from Dan, by the way.
Oh, you just kick him out?
Yeah, I did.
Bye, Sean. We need him later, by the way, for something.
Not right now, though.
Okay. The last thing from this is Castlevania Advance Collection getting a physical release for Switch and PS4, and they have 4 different covers for the 4 different games. You're like, hey, well, there's only 3 games in there. What's the 4th one?
Does it Dracula X also in the original collection?
I don't think so.
Okay, that Super Nintendo game?
I'm pretty sure. When I remember like doing the story this morning for Game Mess Mornings, it was.
Well, I remember.
Okay, so it was always there. Okay.
Yeah, I remember you saying that when you did it, and I remember then thinking, I was always in there.
I think I read the story and they're adding Dracula X for this one, and I'm like, I don't remember Dracula X being there, but okay, I guess it was.
No one really cares. Dracula X is like the Super Nintendo worse version of Rondo of Blood, so it's not something you really want to play all that much.
Yes, that's probably what I was like. Rondo of Blood is what I was thinking.
It's also like weird in this collection because everything else is a Game Boy Advance Metroidvania style. Then they just kind of threw in Dracula X.
Dracula X got a cool cover, so that's fine.
No, it looks great. I think. Which cover do you like the best, though?
God, I think my heart says Circle of the Moon. My brain says Aria of Sorrow.
That's interesting because, I think Harmony. I think that Harmony of Dissonance cover is super good. Yeah. I love the way that one looks.
Yeah, the Harmony of Dissonance one also looks fantastic. I'm trying to see if there's anything else. Obviously, the Jurassic Park Classic Games collection is fun, and Midnight Fight Express getting a physical edition, and El Shaddai getting a physical edition for the Switch. These are all
Shane
great
Bettenhausen's
things.
El Shaddai.
Yes, Shane Bettenhausen's El Shaddai. Rise of the Triad getting a physical edition for everything. That's great too.
Plumbers Don't Wear Ties. That's a porn game.
Plumbers Don't Wear Ties. A porn
Another
game.
3DO game. 3DO, rise up.
Yeah,
Let's
3DO.
Go.
3DO supremacy is finally shining once again.
It's CDI. Actually, what's going on? We finally did it. We finally have 3DO CDI nostalgia. It's happened. Yes.
Okay. That's gonna do it. For the news segment, though. Mike, should we read the super chats now?
Yes, well, I will say, I know we say we'll always read the super chats. If you break terms of service and get banned, though, I'm not going to read your super chats. So there you go.
I'm going to keep your money, though.
They're also offensive and weird. Anyways, Chrono Rig says, hey, dogs, I think this case is pretty weak, but do people know that FTC actually works on the other cases, like right to repair laws and other more important stuff that actually help people? Yeah, I think it's kind of like, I hope that some people don't get too gamer about this and now are like, FTC are bad guys. Regulatory bodies are important and are generally a good thing.
Yep. I think it's actually a bit unfortunate that the FTC is getting a bunch of scrutiny today. In Washington, there was a hearing about the FTC and about its effectiveness or whatever, and a lot of Republicans just going crazy about this and trying to use this as a cudgel against the FTC and saying, "Hey, you're wasting taxpayers' money because you keep losing these cases." And I don't know if what Lena Khan said in response to that, but the reality is, yeah, they lost the cases and they knew they were going to lose the case, I think, or at least they thought it was a good possibility. But that's not the strategy. The strategy is to do something that is a nuisance to these companies so that they don't even really try to bring these things in the first place. And we can talk about whether or not that's effective. I generally think it is probably going to be pretty effective at discouraging some, like a notable amount of consolidation. But it's like we need a strong regulatory body because maybe they're wrong-headed about the Microsoft deal one way or the other. You could feel that way. That's fine. But if they would have brought this same level of scrutiny to the WhatsApp deal from Facebook, I think that would have been welcomed by everybody. But that was not Lena Khan's FTC. So yeah, I think the FTC deserves a little bit more grace than what they're getting, especially in Washington.
Okay, let's see. Mikey Leary says, "Hey everyone, make sure you buy that all chip, no dip shirt, everyone. I spent a whole 20 minutes on the design, so make that big effort worthwhile." Hey, I bought my all chip, no dip shirt. That's on the Giant Bomb store right now.
I'm going to buy it, and then I'm going to forget to expense it. So, yes,
like it.
There you go as well.
Next one here is from Big Fresh 37. It says, "I want Xbox to bring back Overwatch 2's PvE promise. Get Raven to remaster the Cybertron games, put StarCraft on console, and revive StarCraft Ghost." Jeff, do you think any of that would happen if Microsoft acquired Activision Blizzard?
Oh, and the perfect Phil Spencer or utopia where all our dreams come true? Of course. No, none of that's going to happen.
Too bad, though. I would like the Cybertron games especially.
I was just thinking that Cybertron game. I might go back to that and try that again.
The Andrew 13 says, "Are you colliders or dynamiters?" This is an AEW question, Mr. Grubb.
Yeah, of course. I'm a collider. Phil, take me to your bakery. Give me some of your what's the sparkling water he drinks?
I don't know. Do I look like I drink sparkling water?
Yeah, I drink some of Phil's sparkling water. He's a great guy.
It's my sparkling water. It's called Diet Dr. Pepper.
Oh man, I would kill for a Diet Dr. Pepper right now.
It's record. I like Dynamite. I mean, I think Collision has been pretty good.
Yeah, it's been fine.
It's weird to me when you have these. I almost wish it would be more clear, like making an actual brand split. It's a little strange, but my heart's always with those Elite boys.
Yep, same.
Big Fresh 37 says, "Larian for Banjo-Kazooie. Let us bang that bear." At first, I was like, "Why Larian? That's a weird choice." Oh, because of the bear sex. There you go.
Yeah, I would love a Banjo-Kazooie that's really fucking the bear. Yeah.
Clappy Cheeks wants to know, is the $68 billion inflated pandemic valuation or good price? Talking about the price of the Activision Blur deal.
It's both. Yeah. I mean, it's good. I think it's a good price and it's a bit overinflated, but look around. Everything's overinflated. I mean, that's just what the reality we live in. People talk about them overpaying for that. And no, that $69 billion was sitting in their bank account and they're going to get a lot more value out of it being used as an asset from King just raking in money and Call of Duty just raking in money than if they just left that money sit in their bank account. I mean, I would challenge people to find a more efficient way to spend $69 billion. I think that it's going to be a really good value for them in the long term. Spindrift, thank you, Burrito.
Let's hear us. Sean Griffith wants to know, do you guys have a personal favorite D&D class you prefer to play in games? I could switch things up quite a bit, Jeff, on what class I'm going to play in, like any kind of RPG. I do like clerics, and that's like specifically a D&D thing. I like the idea of like a battle mage or like a versatile kind of jack of all trades, master of none kind of a thing. Like I like Red Mage a lot in Final Fantasy, very similar thing.
Yeah, I think I like the idea of a lot of classes more than I actually like playing as them. But that like definitely goes to like Rogue. I like the idea, or even like Bard. But I think usually I have the most fun playing as like a warlock or a wizard or something.
Let's see here now. Next one is from the Chara Wolf. Stop painting on DreamWorks, Mike. They made Shrek too. Look, I was just saying, like, in terms of like gemming in pop culture references, especially in like early DreamWorks, like I'm talking like
Shrek, yeah,
Shark Tales or whatever that one was with Will Smith, that kind of stuff. Hey, I was
that
going
movie's insufferable today.
Oh yeah, I was going on and on about how great Kung Fu Panda and How to Train Your Dragon were earlier
Prince of
today.
Egypt, yeah.
That's right. Prince of Egypt was DreamWorks.
Yes, it was when they were still trying to. It's when he still was really believing in 2D before like they realized, it's all 3D actually.
That's a different era. Can you imagine one of the big animation studios being like, we're gonna adapt a story from the Bible?
Yeah, story Bible, and it's gonna be 2D, and it's gonna be the biggest thing ever. I'm Jeffrey Katzenberg.
Well, look us up. Hey, it's a gimmick, everybody.
What the matching jammies? Whoa,
wow.
Did Mama get you that? Did you say thank you? You're such a lucky girl. Okay, get in bed, kiddo. I love you. I'll see you soon. Bye.
Very exciting.
She loves her American Girl doll, and it's and apparently her mama got her matching jammies. I had no idea she was doing that.
I want to match.
She had those. She was holding them. You missed it.
Oh shit. Okay. Next one is from Dan Park, who says, I watched Shrek 2 at 8x speed before the show tonight. Can confirm it's still a good movie. Oh, Shrek 2 is amazing. I don't know if any movie has like a better sort of high energy near end movie sequence than Shrek's 2 I Need a Hero.
It is amazing. It's
incredible.
It's incredible. It is so much fun.
It's like there should be awards for that. The Andrew 13 says, Jez said on Xbox 2, Amazon was readying to make a major purchase post ABK. Later, about EA splitting divisions, he implied that was readying for buyout. Thoughts?
I could see it, I guess. But like, which division does Microsoft go in and buy EA Sports or just EA proper? That sounds crazy. Maybe EA Sports. I could see them buying EA Sports.
Yeah, like what else would they even split? I mean, like, did they still own some of those weird mobile companies, like whoever made Simpsons Tapped Out? Like, but a lot of everyone else is like trying to buy a mobile company now. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I bet that people are lining up a lot of things. Like Square Enix was 1000% lining themselves up to be bought, and have they been bought? Fucking no. So
no.
These things are just so far from guaranteed. That doesn't mean that these companies don't make maneuvers with that stuff in mind. It just rarely does it pan out, actually. Rarely.
And Connell Wood says, reckon we get legacy Xbox 360 / Xbox One Activision games.
Sorry, Mike, could you repeat that? I just was reading something at the same time.
Let's go get. Reckon we get legacy Xbox 360 and Xbox One
we
Activision
talked about
games.
This, right? We're bringing back backward compatibility.
Well, I guess I wonder, like, what, like this, he's a little vague here, but, coming to Game Pass, backward compatibility.
Oh, sure. I guess
like,
so. Like any
new entries, even
any sort of like version of that question. Yeah.
Like, what were Activision's big games from like the 360 and Xbox One era? That's not just like Blizzard stuff or
like I don't remember
Call of Duty, right? Like they made Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5. Somebody like made like this was the world we live in if this deal goes through, and it was just showing like all of these games on Game Pass, and they included Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5. Like, dude, that's not exciting.
No, that's terrible. Please don't do that. They had a lot of old Spider-Man games they wouldn't be able to do anything with. A lot of old Transformer games they wouldn't be able to do anything with, probably.
Yeah, so, a lot of
Guitar Hero,
Skylanders
is actually, and Spyro and all that stuff. Crash Bandicoot.
Well, there wasn't on Xbox 360. It was like Crash of the Titans that like no one cared.
No, on 360, it's going to be Skylanders is the exciting thing, actually. But do they? Is that really an effort that they can make? I don't know.
Well, what do you do? Because that's the whole Toys Life thing. Do you like unlock all of that stuff? No, I don't know.
Yeah, there's a Wreck-It Ralph game which I can't do anything with.
There was.
Yeah, like a bad one. It doesn't even have a link on Wikipedia to click on it to like actually go to the game's page.
Interesting.
It's there's not a lot of great stuff here. There's the Deadpool game, another thing they wouldn't be able to do anything with because they don't have the license anymore.
I liked that Deadpool game.
Yeah, a lot of stuff was fine. There's from the last from the last decade, not a ton of stuff. Maybe but from before that though. So yeah, I don't know.
All right, next one here. Last one for now from Big Jimbo Ryan. We're so back, baby. Boom, knack, 2, baby, FTC, FTW. Thank you, Big Jimbo Ryan.
Hey, I hope you're eating well tonight, Big Jimbo Ryan. You deserve it. All right, these wins keep coming your way.
Oh, here's Shigeru Miyamoto. I have a theory. Actually, Mr. Grubb. Maybe I shouldn't say it. Maybe I shouldn't. I should just play.
Yeah. Protect the business, man. Protect the business.
I should protect the business. But I mean, the completely distinct user Shigeru Miyamoto says, "I have to dig through the filing cabinets for some dumb papers again because of dumb Phil. I just want to hang out with my friend Cool Chris and Pikmin."
I would love to hang out with Cool Chris and Pikmin on my fucking new chair, playing some video games and drinking. Yeah. Let's make that happen.
That's it for now. Thank you for the super chats, everybody. If you want to send more, you can. We will read them before the show. Oh, here's one more from Dazen31 says, in a span of like 4 hours, I managed to have a better appreciation of Mitch Tokoto after he praised Gex and Prince of Egypt. And Jeff, anyway, keep up the great discussion, boys. Incredible. Oh, fantastic
Prince of
super
Egypt
chat.
too. I was right there. I don't get anything. I don't get any love.
Oh, if you love Prince of Egypt so much, you will learn the plagues with me. We can sing it to each other. You could be.
I would love that.
I want to be Ramses. Let my heart be hardened. Never mind how high the cost may toll. This will still be so.
And I'll be Jeff Goldblum just watching you sing. Yay.
Oh, it's so good.
That's so good. Rules. Yes, Prince of Egypt is the best Christian IP. I agree, Derek Holden, 100%. Actually, the Prince of Egypt, more Jewish. Much more Jewish, actually.
What, that's Bacalar?
Yes, Bacalar. Bacalar has the IP rights to Prince of Egypt.
By the power of Ra.
By the power of Ra, we will return after these messages. Thanks for everybody for sticking with us. We'll be right back.
Canute. So back up. A new beast. It's so good.
Oh, what you got? Oh, you want to put the eyes back on, baby? I don't know if I can do it.
Oh, she looks sad. Oh, look at this face.
I'll have to glue
okay.
I can glue it later, okay?
She has such an expressive face. She says she is a goober.
Okay, don't lose the eyes. Okay, keep it. All right, I got it. I'll see you soon.
She is a goober. Burrito, we'll read that super chat when we get back.
Love you, baby. Okay, let's see here.
Why don't you tell me?
Are you good if I go to get some water real quick?
Yeah, I'll entertain the gimmicks there.
Oh, no, he's gonna
play my little flute for a while.
Don't leave Mike alone.
Where's the Prince of Egypt dancing?
I love the Princess of Egypt. I saw a movie on the theaters.
Nice.
You know why?
Why?
Because my family is Christian as fuck.
Isn't that just Argentina?
Yeah, that's just Argentina.
Christian's family is Christian as fuck. I want to guess.
Yeah, who would have said? Yeah.
Are you named after Jesus Christ?
Yes, I am. My second name is also a Christian name.
Is it Jesus?
No, it's Ariel. It means it's like an angel name.
That's
it's like
a mermaid
Oh, you
name.
have an
What
angel name
about?
too? I have an angel name.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, Michael.
It's an angel name.
Well, yeah.
Who it is?
It is.
My name is
Sean. Just those angel name Sean.
No, but
hey everybody, it's me, Sean the Angel.
It's Irish for John, which is also a biblical name.
Oh,
I guess, yeah.
Well, yeah, surprisingly.
Well, the angels are above. Angels are above,
They're above Ireland.
Yes, would you believe a Latino background? I also had very Catholic grandparents, so.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Irish and Latino, we're pretty much the same people.
Basically.
What'd you do?
What?
I don't know. Mike started talking shit about Christianity for some reason.
Yeah.
Mike's a real
stop.
bitch.
Yeah, I was out of control. I was really out of line. Sorry about that, everybody.
Love to hear it. Fantastic work, everybody. I love this image.
Power Slave.
I love this image of Tam from that After Dark picture of him just looking so upset and surly. It's very good.
It's good. Surly is the way of putting it. Very surly.
Yes, very surly. Like, I just would not mess with him if he looked like that. And I feel like I can make him look at me like that if I just said some shit about Soul Reaver. So.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Why don't you give me a big gap? A big silence.
Okay, hang on. We're not ready yet. So, what are we doing now? We are coming in.
Yet?
Not ready yet.
Fantasy Critic.
Yes, we're doing Fantasy Critic first.
Yeah, let's do Fantasy Critic last.
Yeah, let's do Fantasy Critic last. Is that okay, Sean?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bother me.
I just want to make sure that you didn't have places to be. Okay.
We're good. Let's
see. That means we're going to do this instead. That means I need this. Okay. Let me just get a Google Sheet going, and then we'll be good.
Oh, right. I have one more super chat. We might as well just read when we come back. Why do you hate Bob? I don't hate Bob.
Okay, and then that means I need this. Opera.
I want a big silence because Mike sang all his way into the fucking break.
Okay.
To do that.
I just want it to be easier.
By the power of Raw.
That sounds good. We'll have a big silence. All right. Is everybody good? Mike, you good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Big silence, 10 seconds worth, starting now. And we're back. And we're going to get into 1995 Game of the Year after Mike reads our latest super chat.
Burrito wants to know, Grubb, do you think the Activision Blizzard ruling permits gradual unfair competition by allowing Microsoft acquisitions mergers while deterring smaller competitors?
No. Yeah. Do you think the Activision Blizzard ruling permits gradual unfair competition? No, because I think smaller competitors are still operating as they would, and they have a line towards an eventual big exit as they get bigger, right? So you want to be able to.
I mean, Xbox, not Blizzard. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. The Xbox. Yeah. Okay. Either way, though, it's if you're a smaller competitor and you're not really a competitor because sure, you're competing for time, but you are looking to just get some success. And the way you do that is you start out small, you get an investment from some people that give you some money, whether it's venture capital or whatever, and you can have some level of success. But you were aiming towards growing, so you're no longer a smaller competitor. And one of the ways to do that is to get bigger games, get bigger investments, whatever. But that you have to have an end goal to imagine toward, and a lot of that is, well, maybe one day a Microsoft might be able to buy us. And I know that sounds dystopian, but that is the way that the system is supposed to work. That is the system we have. And if we live in a world where Microsoft or a company like Microsoft is barred from making those purchases just because the thing that they're buying is a bit big, it's like, oh, yeah, that can sound good because, it improves competition. But really what it does is just takes this big piece out of the puzzle of investment making sense. And then that is a trickle-down effect of everyone along the line not being able to convince someone that they can get investment because that's one player taken out of the equation of potentially being able to buy them in the end once you're worth a lot more money. So this is Microsoft making big purchases is a good thing for the industry overall if you are worried about these smaller companies because they have someone that might one day buy them. And that is a good thing. And those people could take that money and leave and go start new companies, something that Jim Ryan himself said is going to happen, that the people from this deal are going to get their investment, their stocks are going to vest. And then once they're vested, they can leave, take all the money they made from their stock being worth a ton more because Microsoft gave them a bunch of money, and they could take that money and go start a new studio. And they're definitely going to do that. And that's part of the cycle just working. So, yeah, I'm not worried about that at all. Not really.
All right, you ready to play a game?
I'm ready to play the game of best game of the year, 1995. Mike, I have this
new
ready.
Thing here. We're starting with 1995 just because I thought it'd be more fun than starting way back.
He was afraid you guys were going to call him a boomer.
Well, they're going to call me a boomer no matter what.
That's
but
right.
It'd be funny if they called me a boomer for picking specific games from 1995 over other games from 1995.
And yet, that is definitely going to happen.
Right.
All right.
Jeff and I are going to work together to come up with a top 5.
Yes. So give people an idea of how this is going to work. I mean, work together. What does that look like to you?
Well, we're going to have to compromise. We don't just each have individual lists. We have to come to some kind of an agreement on the 5 best games of 1995. We are basing this off of U.S. release dates, by the way. We also asked our podcast producers for their input, so they will be helping us and guiding us as well. So we're just going to be kind of going back and forth, naming some of the games that stand out to us from this year, and then we will figure out the ordering.
Sounds good to me. Where do you want to start, Mike?
Okay. I think I could start with a pretty big one right away with Chrono Trigger.
Okay.
Kind of like it feels like every other 16-bit, maybe even just 8-bit JRPG. Every JRPG was sort of building up to this moment, and this is the ideal.
In case this boomer pick already, just so you know.
Thank you. This is kind of the ideal JRPG as it existed until before Final Fantasy VII sort of about to shake things up, right?
Yes. I mean, I think this is the plutonic ideal of a JRPG for a Super Nintendo, for any sort of console up until this point. I think when you say, what is the best JRPG, a lot of people are going to say Chrono Trigger. I think a lot of people are going to say that still to this day, like this is their favorite. So yeah, I guess the right pick. It's not one that it's not like my pick because I never really played it. I played a few hours. I thought it was fine. But I know a lot of people love it. So I think it's definitely going to be on the list. There's almost no chance it isn't. So yes, I think that's a good first pick. I would put, obviously, Yoshi's Island up there next.
That's the other big one. Another big one, I think. Yoshi's Island. Almost kind of like what we were saying about RPGs here, but maybe for 2D platformers. Like, even just compare what this game looks like with a really deliberate art style and all this kind of flair to, I like Super Mario World. That is very much just like video game graphics. Like, this is the Mario look, but now it's 16-bit. There is something more impressive about Yoshi's Island, and it plays so well, too.
It plays so well. It's so much fun to 100% the levels. It's one of those games where I just played it over and over and over again until I got everything, and it was so satisfying. And getting those bonus mini games at the end of each world map was fun to unlock. It's just such a great game, and it's a great speedrun game to watch. I love everything about it. And you're right, it's such a strong style, and it was Nintendo using its technology to empower its artists. I think we saw a lot of examples at that time of them experimenting and using the technology to look like a technological game, like Stunt Race FX, and like, oh, it's 12 frames per second, but it's 3D polygons on the Super Nintendo. Oh my God. And I like the look of Stunt Race FX, but it's a trash game. Yoshi's Island is them being like, okay, we want to make a very good game, but we want to use like the SA1 or SA2 chip, whatever it was, or Super FX. Was it Super FX? I can never keep it straight.
I think it was Super FX chip. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was, and it's like, we're going to use that. And what can we do with that to like really make the game pop? And boy, it just still to this day looks so good. I really love Yoshi's Island.
Yeah.
I think after these first two, it's not like it's a little bit of a drop off, but it's like, I think it's more of like an uncertainty about what can make a top five.
I think these two are going to be number one and number two in some configuration.
I agree.
Yeah. I think I have some strong idea about what number three might be. And that would be Donkey Kong Country 2.
Yes, I think I am pretty okay with that. Donkey Kong 2,
I think that's
Diddy's Kong Quest.
Yeah, I think that this is the best of that trilogy. I know you had like a slight hang up about not being able to play Donkey Kong.
Yeah, but I've played a bunch of it at this point, and it's that's always just a weird mental hang up, not an actual detriment of the game or against the game or whatever.
I think it plays better than the first one. I think the music is somehow even better. Just an incredible soundtrack. I love the aesthetics, the levels. Just I don't know. This is a fantastic 2D platformer. Maybe not quite as good as Yoshi's Island, but it's also like a bit more, I don't know if pure is the word. It's a little faster, more just like, hey, run and jump kind of a thing. God, this game still feels really good to play. Like with Donkey Kong Country 1, those SGI graphics or whatever, like that was what popped a lot. This one almost seems to get carried a bit more from just like pure gameplay kind of way to me.
Yes, absolutely. A lot of that stuff had waned at that point. Man, I'm trying to see if my game is going to count as 1994 or as 1995. So maybe I'll save that because I think it came home in 1995, but I don't know if I think that was a Japanese release date. So I'm gonna.
Oh, interesting.
Let me double check.
Interesting.
Because actually no, it is okay. So it's Sega Rally Championship is something I really love. It's one of my favorites. But it's arcade in 1994 and Sega Saturn in 1995. It may be a bit nebulous. I'll say something else instead for now.
A little nebulous.
Dark Forces.
I was just gonna say Dark Forces. That's gonna be my next one.
I love. It's just Star Wars Dark Forces. Is that what it is?
Yeah, Star Wars Dark Forces. This is.
I love this.
Not only is it the best of like the pure Doom clones, I think it's the best of any game that plays kind of like Doom.
Right. I think I'm with you. I think it has a real confidence about it. It's doing a ton. And it looks great. It looks great. It just looks. It's got so much style, and I think it. Obviously great on PC. Even when it came to console, like I think it came to PlayStation, it was fine on there. It's so cool. I think it's one of the coolest Star Wars games, and it's again going back to that. Oh, Donkey Kong Country 2. Like I can't play as Donkey Kong. I didn't like it when as much when they switched to more Jedi stuff for Dark Forces sequels. I've come around to it, and I like those games. But Dark Forces has a special place in my heart. I really like this game.
I mean, I played through it for the first time not too long ago, thanks to that Force Engine fan project. I still thought it was super fun. Okay, so here's a little Sega Saturn love for you.
Let's
definitely
hear it.
my favorite launch game for that system. Still a game that I really love is Panzer Dragoon.
Oh, fantastic.
The
Okay.
original Panzer Dragoon is such a cool looking game. Like it's one of those games where like when you play it, like, oh, this is the best looking game ever. Really beautiful, kind of like somber soundtrack. Like in terms of like the more rail shooters, like that kind of style, maybe my favorite of this genre, even over any of the Star Fox games. Just love the vibe of Panzer Dragoon.
Okay, so if we have an arcade game, should we go with the arcade release or the console release? Because I do have an arcade game that came out in 1995 that I would really like to put in here, but it might be better known as a console game from the year later.
Well, let me know. What is it? Let's figure it out.
It's Tekken 2.
Tekken 2, I think, would count.
It's arcade in 1995.
Yeah, I mean,
And that's
my thing
worldwide.
Is like, Tekken 2 doesn't I'm not the biggest Tekken guy, but doesn't Tekken 2 generally get pretty overshadowed by Tekken 3?
Yeah, I guess in the grand scheme of things, but Tekken 2 was very beloved at that year. It definitely, like in the grand scheme of things, yes. But I still think, like, if we're talking about the best games in 1995, I still think it's up there.
Yeah. By the way, chat just asked if they can suggest games. Absolutely, chat. Go ahead.
Yeah. Feel free to throw things out.
Tekken 2 is really good. I think it could go in the short list. I'm not, again, my Tekken knowledge isn't great. That's something I kind of want to fix.
I played a ton of Tekken 2 and I fell in love with that. I loved it. I really liked that game. I thought Tekken 1 was pretty good. Battle Arena Toshin, and I was playing a ton of in those first couple of years. This is on the console, but Tekken 2 really, really got me. Yeah.
Okay, I think this is kind of a bigger-ish one, is Warcraft 2, Tides of Darkness. This was the first real-time strategy game I ever played. It's like, to me, I know it's not really the case. To me, the jump from Warcraft 1 to Warcraft 2 was almost Street Fighter level. It's not quite there, but I thought that was a pretty big improvement. I didn't hear anybody ever talk about the series personally until Warcraft 2 came out, and it was kind of a big-ish deal. It seemed like I knew a lot of people who were playing Warcraft 2. I think it was sort of the standard for RTS. Well, I mean, until StarCraft came out, which was a little bit after this. But yeah, I like Warcraft 2 quite a bit still.
Yeah, it's one where I saw that it came out in 1995, and I never really played it. So, but it did get me thinking about a different one that I did play that I really enjoyed at the time, and I've not really thought about it much since. But I'm going to throw it up on the short list. Command and Conquer. I think that it's at least worthy of consideration. I think Command and Conquer is it's I mean, at the time it was so huge, but it's definitely just one I haven't kept up with at all. But I remember at the time really liking it.
Oh, that's super fair. I'm gonna have to go to my LucasArts adventure game
there's some
roots
good
here
ones
now and bring up. There's a couple. There's the Dig, which is fun. Takes itself more seriously than any other ones, which is kind of nice about it. But I'm gonna really go with Full Throttle, which is definitely the more fun one. I believe this is the Tim Schafer's kind of directing debut.
Yes, you can tell.
He worked on like other games, but this was the one that was his. Really fun adventure game. I still love the way it looks with its big beefy sprites. The remaster of it is also good, so you can play this on modern platforms pretty easily. Also, it's one of the shorter ones that LucasArts made, which actually is kind of nice for newer players. I think this is a great one for people just curious about those LucasArts adventure games. Full Throttle, very good time.
Yeah, at this point, I think things fall off. Was there a Mortal Kombat 3 that came out at this point?
Yeah, but you want Ultimate Mortal Kombat.
Yes, exactly.
3.
Yeah.
But speaking of like upgraded versions of arcade games, NBA Jam Tournament Edition came out in
NBA
1995.
Jam Tournament Edition is one that I remember. Like I saw that available, and I'm like, I really remember liking that. But is that the one we want to include? If you want to, I'll put it up there.
I think that's when I think of NBA Jam. That's the version I wanted to play.
Okay, fantastic. Then let's put it on there because that's one I wanted to add to the list as well.
Yeah, now, I know we're doing U.S. release dates. What about a game that didn't come out in the U.S. like Terra Nigma? I really like to enunciate that these days. Terra Nigma came out in PAL and Japan in 1995. The
Good
Quintet.
job, Mike.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Mike. Well done.
I played a bit. I only ever played a bit of it. It is really fun. Something I want to play more of. But want to shout out Terra Nigma.
You did very good. You really want that on the short list, or was it just a bit?
Maybe it's just a bit. I haven't played enough to really have strong feelings about it, I'm afraid. But yeah, a bit of a bit there.
I think I might be tapped out. I don't like a Tetris Attack. I liked, but I don't know if I'm gonna put on.
There's a few
there.
more like
I'm sorry, Mega Man X3. Is that something you want up there?
No, I like Mega Man X3. To me, the X games that matter are X1 and X4, and otherwise,
Okay.
I don't feel super strongly. But like Mega Man 7 is also this year, and that's another one. It's like, that's okay. You can keep that. Descent was 1995. That's a game that made everybody sick. Descent seemed like it was important, and now we just don't talk about Descent anymore, which is almost a shame. There's like games where like the first Twisted Metal. Let's wait for Twisted Metal 2. The first Worms. And okay? So Phantasy Star 4 came out in the U.S. in 1995. That's a very good game. I don't know if it's gonna make the list.
Here's one that I think we are not going to get up there. But we would probably get yelled at for not putting in a top 5. Earthbound.
Yeah, that's right. I meant to mention Earthbound. It is just kind of a weird blind spot for both of us. It's one we're probably going to get yelled at, but it's something I mean to go back to. But I've started it a lot, and I don't know why I can't get further in it. I'm sure I would like it if I finally just really do commit myself to playing the whole game. But yeah, sorry everybody.
Did Killer Instinct come out in 1995? Not that I would put it on the list because I don't think it's
no, me neither. But I think I think it might have. I'm not the biggest Killer Instinct guy personally.
Okay.
Why don't we look to our podcast producers? Let's see what they're saying.
Yeah, sounds good. Let me grab this, and that's just a picture of that. So let me fix this first.
Is that a picture of the bear dick?
No, it's a picture of that sexy squirrel with
pretty much.
Yeah, basically a bear dick. Let me go ahead and fix this real quick. See.
Yeah, the link is on podcast stuff if you want for the.
Thank you. I'm clicking that right now. Okay, I can move this over, and we can do it from there. Okay, let's see. Jackie G says going to have to go with Yoshi's Island. The whole game is incredible beyond words, and man, that final boss music is one of my favorite Super Nintendo tracks ever. Excuse me. Bob Junction denied. Says Donkey Kong Country 2. Ray says Chrono Trigger wins for me. Incredible cast, legendary music. Evo Janice, agree with Ray. Chrono Trigger, Yoshi's Island as the runner up. Alex says I've only played like 4 games from 1995. Chrono Trigger, I played on DS, is the best of it though. Akira Toriyama's iconic art, fantastic music, and a compelling cast. What more could you want from a JRPG? Mr. Puller says Chrono Trigger. Chaos Buckaroo says, and before Mike and Jeff pick some boomer game to avoid the obvious winners.
Wow.
Casual says, it's Mario Picross, which I considered, but I think, didn't that only come out in Japan? I guess maybe not. Mario's Picross.
I don't know. There's a lot of English on this box. But
exactly.
It's hard to tell.
Yeah, maybe it didn't come out in the United States or something. I thought for some reason
I still don't understand Picross.
It's a great game.
I get it.
Benji Grubb says, Tactics Ogre, let us cling together. And this
I saw that came out. This, I don't know. I haven't played it yet. I
me
have any
neither.
strong opinions.
The Captain Toad Wolf 5 says, glad we skipped all the previous years of Boomer games, as this was the year we got arguably one of the greatest games of all time, Yoshi's Island. Rare Monkey, what a shit year for games compared to the ones right around it. This is probably because we were in a transition to 3D and everyone decided 2D was dead, but I will say Command and Conquer. Hospice, Warcraft 2?
There you go. The Command and Conquer Warcraft 2 fight is real.
We're going to get a lot of repeats after this, so I'm going to just kind of bounce around a little bit, everybody. Amig says, I might prefer Twisted Metal, if I'm being honest. But there's no reasonable case to be made against Chrono Trigger.
Yeah, like Twisted Metal 2 will probably get some love, although it might be a more crowded year when it came out. We'll see.
Twisted
but
Metal
that's
is just
the
not
Twisted
going to
Metal
make a
game,
top 5, no.
not the original.
Yep. Rumham says Gex. I think that's a bit.
That's funny.
Cranston Basketball says Mortal Kombat 3, I guess.
We need Mortal Kombat 3 Ultimate.
Yes, I'm with you on that. Fusion says Chrono Trigger as someone that wasn't alive until 1999. Octo says the correct answer is probably Chrono Trigger, Tactics Ogre, or maybe TIE Fighter. And shout out to the Giant Bomb classic Bioforge. But for me personally, it would have to be Warcraft 2. Judge Epping says Earthbound. Always Be Kirky says Chrono Trigger, but he also mentions Super Bomberman 3.
Yeah.
yeah.
I like Bomberman fine. I don't know about
Saturn Bomberman is actually the best one, and that comes out
Saturn
next
Bomberman,
year, I think.
I like Bomberman 64 because that single player campaign was actually really fun.
Yeah. Emin Goldie says, wow, they didn't make mini games in 1995. I can't believe no one mentioned everyone's favorite game, I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream.
Is that the name of that game? That's
I
a great
thought
name.
that was a book, but maybe I am mistaken.
It's a book. Yeah, it's a book, and then they made it into a game.
Really? They did make a game, huh? Inofe says the easy answer is Chrono Trigger. The correct answer is also probably Chrono Trigger. My real answer that's not Chrono Trigger is Warcraft 2.
Warcraft 2 love?
Yeah, Street Fighter Alpha from Dan Park. Let's see.
I was never big on the Alpha series, I have to admit. I kind of was like
I like
sleeping.
the art a lot.
Yeah, but I kind of slept on the fighting games. Like I played Mortal Kombat, then basically got back into it when Marvel vs. Capcom happened, which I know is very inspired by Alpha. A lot of those sprites are in there, but still.
It definitely, I think it's like when they were like, let's make Street Fighter even more complicated. At least that's how I felt about it at the time.
Right. I don't think Alpha 1's people's favorite from that series. Anyways.
Yeah, but I don't think so either. DMC Depressed Me Crying says, as a podcast dedicated to the glory of all things Jim Ryan, the only correct answer is Jumping Flash.
Wait for Jumping Flash 2, and then we'll
that's
see.
that real shit. Easy Ipsis says 95 was filled with some great games, but the point and click fan of me can't go past the fantastic I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream. Okay, apparently I should play this if it's this is so
apparently, this is getting more point and click adventure love than Full Throttle so far.
They also mentioned The Dig, and they don't mention Full Throttle.
Wow.
Let's see. Punish Rose says NBA Jam Tournament Edition. I'm glad that we got that on there now. Seraphis Kane, seeing as it's my favorite game of all time, I really can't answer with anything other than Earthbound. Let's see. Oh, so Sasquatching says Hexen Beyond Heretic, that or Command and Conquer. Another Command and Conquer from Shoji
More
Kodo.
Command and Conquer love than I was expecting, I have to say.
Command and Conquer was really popular at the time. It was so much bigger than I think I forgot how big it was, and I looked back recently and I'm like, oh yeah, people loved Command and Conquer.
I don't know why it really went over my personal group of friends. I was a little bit younger is probably why.
Yeah, it's much more like
I'm 9 at this point.
Warcraft is hitting that audience instead of Command and Conquer.
Yeah. That's real war. That's scary.
Yeah, exactly. This man, there's an explosion in this man's glasses.
Sean. Good job, Sean.
Bench JC says, I don't really know since I was born 9 years after 1995. Oh my God.
Wow.
A lot of
was it Bench? Somebody said when we did the
it was Bench. Yes,
we did our Mount Rushmore. It's I haven't heard of any of these games. It was the Mount Rushmore arcade sports games. It's I don't believe you haven't heard of NBA Jam. We're no. I was okay, dang it.
And Bench JC has not heard of NBA Jam. They are that young.
Well, it's back this week.
Yeah,
we're not done with it yet.
Beef Hammer says Jeff and Mike haven't played Earthbound, so they won't say it. Therefore, this list is already flawed.
Sorry.
Turbo Sean says NBA Jam, Vision 49. Really torn between Earthbound and Chrono Trigger, so I'll choose Hexen. Screaming Madden says Madden NFL 96, but also Yoshi's Island. And then Brian Rose says throwing in one more for Chrono Trigger, but I respect Yoshi's Island and Donkey Kong Country 2. Also, Mario Picross is great. Okay.
Right.
Fantastic.
Work together.
I
think we got I think we have a list of the games that we're considering.
I think that's right. And there was a lot of the stuff that people said. I don't think we need to add anything. Obviously, the one we would add because it's not on here is Earthbound. But I don't know how we get it on there because we haven't played it. Do we give one slot to fan vote or something like that?
Just sorry. I mean, it's not. I played it. I haven't liked it enough yet.
Put it in a different color. Put it on
yeah,
red.
Put it in we'll put it in the corner and put a dunce cap on it. Okay. What are we doing here, Mike? Should we start eliminating things?
That top 5 the way it accidentally got arranged myself.
That's how it goes a lot of times, isn't it? Let me look here.
I think the top 3 is actually almost locked in perfectly for sure.
Yeah.
Without much need for deliberation.
Yeah, I mean, I think I would probably drop Panzer Dragoon. I have never really liked any of those rail shooters.
Well, so be clear. So the top 3, what I like right now, it's Chrono Trigger number 1, then Yoshi's Island number 2, and then Donkey Kong Country 2, Diddy's Conquest at number 3.
But I think Dark Forces probably does make the top 5.
I think Dark Forces at 4 is actually pretty good. Yeah.
I think so too. So it's okay. So Chrono Trigger, Yoshi's Island, Donkey Kong Country 2, Diddy's Conquest, and then Star Wars Dark Forces are Well, I feel like locks. We'll decide the order for sure here in a second, but that's looking pretty good so far.
Yeah.
What we have left on the short list is Panzer Dragoon, Tekken 2, Warcraft 2, Command and Conquer, Full Throttle, NBA Jam Tournament Edition, and Terra Enigma.
I told you Terra Enigma was a bit. You can get rid of it.
I got rid of it. There we go. There's one less to choose from. Let me go ahead. And do this.
I like Panther Dragoon a lot. That would maybe be my number 5, but I was also like I was a Sega Saturn diehard, man. I was a ride or die with Sega Saturn back then. I had all my hopes and dreams pinned on it. One of the first personal disappointments of my life, I imagine.
Yeah, Panzer Dragoon, I think it's a really good one of those, but I just don't like it as much as some of these other games. I think I would put NBA Jam Tournament Edition up at number 5. I think that is a very 1995 game, and it's a game that's still good to this day.
Yeah, that's good. Tekken 2, I think I'm not going to quite want to go to bat so much for. I haven't played a ton. I just feel like
I love Tekken 2 is the other one I would put up there, but Tekken 2 I'm not going to try to push. I think I prefer NBA Jam.
Yeah. I feel like there's not enough other people as excited about Full Throttle for me, and there's going to be future LucasArts adventure games I will be more obnoxious about, so I'll wait. Warcraft 2 didn't got a little bit of support from the community, not as much as I was expecting. Command and Conquer got a surprising amount of support.
It did, and I really like that game, but it's one I just don't hold a torch for, really.
Yeah, I haven't played. Me neither. NBA Jam Tournament Edition, meanwhile, like, yes, absolutely. So
yeah, and it looks right for a 1995. I mean, all these games came out in 1995, but just NBA Jam is indicative of that year.
Yeah, like I feel like it should just be either like me and you go for our gut and do NBA Jam Tournament Edition, or we consider the community and include Command and Conquer at number 5. It's kind of how I'm feeling about it, one way or the other.
I think NBA Jam looks right up there.
You heard that. He hates the community, guys. I was trying.
Oh, I do. I despise the community. Everyone knows that. Yeah. So from this list, I mean, the order probably is right. I
think the order is correct.
I am, especially after looking at the community and seeing so much Chrono Trigger love, which I'm not surprised by, of course. I'm like, yes, of course, that could be number 1. Yoshi's Island is a strong possibility for a number 1, but getting in there at number 2 is fine with me. It's definitely my personal game of that year, Yoshi's Island, without a doubt.
But like those two games would be so close for me. It's difficult. Yeah, it's hard. They're both fantastic, but I do think there's something more important about Chrono Trigger. If that makes sense. Yeah,
we could call Bacalar to verify that, but I think you're right. And I think Donkey Kong Country 2 is probably just one of the most fun games on this list. It's just a really well made fun game.
Yeah, really good. And it seems like it's gotten better considered as time has moved on. I think it stands out for a lot of people.
Yes, and then Dark Forces is, like we said, cool and plays well and has so much going for it. And then NBA Jam is also very, very fun. Yeah, I think that's the list, Mike.
I'm sad about the no Saturn representation, although there was probably a version of Tournament Edition for Saturn.
Yeah, exactly. We'll count it. Count it.
Yeah, Dark Forces on PlayStation eventually, but there we go. So yeah, there you go. There's Game of the Year 1995. At number 1, Chrono Trigger. Number 2, Yoshi's Island. Number 3, Donkey Kong Country 2, Diddy's Conquest. Number 4, Star Wars Dark Forces. And number 5, NBA Jam Tournament Edition. I thought that this was a lot of fun. We got plenty of years left.
Yeah, this will be fun. We can do a lot of these. We will we'll take suggestions as always. But me and Mike will put together more lists for more years. I am going to tweet this out and let people yell at us.
You should put the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Otherwise, I don't know. People will.
I think it's in order. It's in order. People will get it.
You assume too much.
Yeah, sure. But if it just makes people yell at me more, that's just engagement, and that's more money for me when I get that verified thing. So there we go.
Anyway, you need to justify your laziness.
Yeah, you know me. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and take a quick break. And when we get back, we are going to go over how we've been doing with our fantasy critic.
I'm going to go to the bathroom this time.
All right, sounds good.
Okay. I think I'm going to conquer Grubb. You're all a bunch of bitches. And
go on.
This Discord's going to blow up one day.
Well, that is definitely true. We definitely know that.
I do love coming. It's the first PC game my dad ever bought me.
Oh, really?
I remember, yes. It was it was the original also. It came in the fucking box. And it wasn't English. I'm like, what the fuck is this shit? I'm fucking 6. What's going on?
That's a hell of a game to get when you're 6. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I was like 7 actually.
Okay, never mind.
I don't
That makes all the difference. That's a whole year. You're basically a man at that
I don't know.
point.
I was very young, but I wasn't 6. I was like 7 or 8. I don't remember.
Emigoli says, "Hey Jeff, what's best for Giant Bomb? Me watching stuff on YouTube or on the site using your own player?" I'm sure there's some answer to that question. Mostly it doesn't matter. What really matters is telling your friends about the stuff, sharing our stuff that you like.
Spread the love.
Spread the love. And having good vibes about it, and everyone being like excited about these things. Be like, this fun thing happened. You should check this out. That stuff is infectious, and that's what we're looking for. But
oh my god!
Also, technically, the answer is YouTube because YouTube is a visible number that we can prop up. Then it also gets us better ratings in the algorithm. Whereas if you watch on the site, that's cool and all. But
but if the people in charge thought that, they would put YouTube as the thing for everything instead of our own player for everything. So obviously, they think we make more money from our own player. I mean, I don't know. There's no one answer. But I like it when you watch the YouTube version because of what Sean said. Like
watch it once on every platform.
Yep.
I was gonna say usually, at least from what I've seen, when you go to a video on
a lot of times
site,
it's just the YouTube version.
Loads the YouTube embed anyway. So
a lot of times. Yes. But there was definitely a push for the JW player, whatever the fuck it is. But yeah, I don't know. I'll just say I don't care. Whatever's most convenient for you is the real answer. That's we're trying to be where you are.
Retweeting our social stuff.
Yes, and, retweeting the stuff that Sean makes.
The TikToks and everything.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
I got a banger for tomorrow. I'm gonna show you guys after the podcast.
Oh, okay, I'm excited. Fantastic.
Oh, I want to see it. I want to sneak preview.
It's good stuff.
Dennis Kucinich and Robert F. Kennedy. Okay.
I had an idea, Jeff, for the we were talking about FC Club.
Sure.
Whatever, FC, whatever.
Yeah.
Now we have a contact with my Argentinian friends. And if you want to do a quick look.
Okay.
We can bring
that's something.
Big fans. Yes.
Okay, I'll think about
Finally, somebody that knows about the sport.
But that'll ruin a Giant Bomb Sports quick look.
Daniel Dwyer guy. Who is he?
Nobody knows who that is.
Yeah, his team never won the World Cup.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. I love you, Danny. If you ever hear this.
Oh boy. Okay, let's see.
It's gonna beat me up.
Well, I mean, it's gonna go Conor McGregor on you, yeah.
He's tall and everything.
Beefhammer says those TikToks are bad. Sean should feel bad. You can
don't worry, Beef. I'm gonna drag you during the next segment here. So,
was I bad at the game and gave up?
No, he said Beef, but yes, also you, Mike. Also, you are going to get dragged.
Yeah, I have no idea what you were talking about there, but sure.
Mike's so paranoid these days, everybody. This is what we deal with.
You guys have no idea. He's like, fuck you.
Yeah, you have no idea what he's like behind the scenes. He's insufferable.
Everyone's talking bad about me.
Yeah. No, everybody betrayed me. I fed up with this world. That's Mike.
He's Giant Bomb famous. Like, she was like fucking him up already.
It's totally poisoning his brain. All right. Let's bring it back. Should we do super chats again first? Do we have any more? I think we have a couple more. We don't. No, actually, we don't.
No, we don't.
We don't. Okay, cool. I just saw the number. I was like, oh, that's some money. But I guess people were just generous earlier in the show. Thanks again, everybody.
Give me a long, sexy pause. Okay. A long silence, but make it sexy hot.
Okay. And we're back. Mike, we have done this thing called Fantasy Critic where, and I say we've done, and you really haven't. You've given up, haven't you?
Oh, there's no recovering from my position. I have, two of my games were Hellblade 2 and Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, right? So those aren't happening.
And you drafted 7 Rebirth, right? Do you remember?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I drafted both of those.
But didn't you spend $80 on something else?
Yeah, something else I didn't understand how it worked, and I spent way too much money to draft later. I don't get how it works. Maybe next year will be my year. Not this time, though. But I'm interested to see how everyone else is doing. So we're going to do a catch-up. Sean's here to give us the lowdown. Sean, we have the 2 leagues. Mike's in one, I'm in the other. How is it going right now? And tell me how I'm going to win.
All right. Well, I have this handy dandy rundown here, summing up the first half-ish of the year of us playing, brought to us, of course, by the overall manager of the game, Benji Bop, executive produced by somehow Benji Bop Kojima. So he says, we are officially just past the halfway point in the year, and it's been an interesting one to see the different narratives developing in each league. While it looks like one side is dangerously close to a runaway victory, the other league is just starting to heat up. Now, he wants to remind everyone who is playing that you must get your second counter pick by the deadline of September 1st. That's a month and a half from now-ish as of recording. If you don't, it's an automatic 15-point loss.
Oh, wow.
Which he predicts is roughly equivalent to a Super Mario Brothers Wonder counter pick. I wonder if that'll come up later. And you are only allowed to counter pick, as a reminder, games that other people have bid on and purchased. Anyways, let's take a look at how the top 5 are doing in each league. So we have the Game Mess Critiques League. That would be the Jeff League. First place.
Yay.
I heard that's the
boo
worst
that
league.
league. I'm in the R League. Yeah, fuck this league. First place with 66.37 points. The Legend of Heroes Trails in the War for Waifus, managed by Bench JC.
Oh my God, his fucking children are.
What are you doing to us
Hey,
tonight, man?
you guys hear my joke? Did you know that the Trails and Tales JRPG series fans actually get along really well?
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. They talk about what they have in common over ales.
Bench's first place
Sean, what were you
is
saying?
thanks
Yeah,
to
go
a
ahead.
strong score from getting Tears of the Kingdom. 31.8 points there. It's a lot
Jesus,
like
that's
my Elden
unfair.
Ring
Basically,
pick
whoever
last
got
year.
that's going to win.
We'll see. And he also got Xenoblade Chronicles 3 Future Redeemed, which was an additional 20 points. Unfortunately, Bench counterpicked unannounced 2D Mario game, which is now Super
wow.
Mario Wonder. So
Oopsie
Bench will
doopsie.
be losing something there, something big, more likely than
Yeah,
not.
likely a lot.
Second place with 61.68 points, Boubele et Ludi, managed by Beef Hammer. I put this in Google Translate. Apparently it means beef and game.
Okay, very good.
Jeff, what's wrong with the kids in your league, man?
Everything. I don't know how this gets distributed. Who decided I was in here with all these little shitheads?
RNG.
Oh, man.
You know,
All right.
yeah.
Aren't you
Anyways.
hates me? Why has he got a predicted 90.97 points? What the fuck? What has he got here? Okay, damn. Oh, he's got
Beef
Starfield.
Hammer. We'll get to that. Beef Hammer has a well-rounded roster so far. Each of his picks has scored over 10 points. Humanity is his highest at 15.4. Bot points out, while trying not to inflate his ego any further, it's my duty as an objective observer to point out his 3 remaining releases are Starfield, Super Mario RPG Remake, and
Yeah,
City Skylines
Jesus
2.
Christ.
May God help us all.
I tried to bid against him for Super Mario RPG Remake. He must have put a bunch of money on that because he only had like one slot left. So he must have just put the rest of his money, and I did not win that. So shit.
It's going to be a fight. Some of us are still in the running, but it's definitely going to be a fight to overtake last year's second place, I would like to remind everyone, whereas I got first. Mr. Beef Hammer got second place. Third place this year in the Jeff League with 43.383 points. Zoa Energy Gaming, managed by Vision 49, who had a strong launch with Dead Space Remake, 18 points there. Should be noted, however, that one of Vision's counterpicks is Liza P, which could go either way there. That could be a loss.
Who knows?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I think it's probably gonna be okay.
I realize as we say this, if anyone doesn't know, when you counterpick a game, you're predicting that game will do poorly. So if the game does well, you actually lose points instead. Fourth place. With
Real
30...
quick, let's not go through. We're not going through every single person, are we? Because that'll take forever. Because I really have like 40 people, right?
No, we're just doing top 5 on each side.
Gotcha. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Jeff's like, wait a second here. What is this format exactly?
Fourth place with 38 points, Microsoft We Are For Sale Studio, managed by Benji Bop, and that's thanks to his pick of Final Fantasy 16 and a solid counter pick of Crime Boss Rocky City. Which
That is a
netted
good
him
counter pick.
Oh
Wow.
yeah,
14
that's a
points,
fantastic
yep.
counter pick.
The remaining releases for him are Liza P and the Star Ocean remake. And then last up, fifth place with 27 points, Waifus Are Us, managed by Ben 7, these
Nice.
kids. That's thanks to good performances from Theater Rhythm Final Barline and Honkai Star Rail. And
Nice.
Forza Motorsport is still on their list
What's-
as a release, which will definitely score
What's
some
going up with Honky Star Rail?
Yeah, honky.
I mean, it's good.
It seems like it came out so
good.
like fan people were excited, and then it's like, oh no, there's too many like I don't say real games that came out, but
Well, it did come out like right before Zelda. Like,
yeah, it's rough.
Yeah. Now that I'm done with Zelda and Final Fantasy, I'm definitely getting back to it. And,
I think it's worth pointing out that Epic Open World is predicted to get up to 4th place because they have
one publisher to keep an eye on is Gamer Meat, managed by Epic Open World, who is currently projected to score another 40 points with help from Mortal Kombat 1 and Like a Dragon Gaiden.
Yes, and Hades 2, I guess if that could get reviews in early access, so we'll see.
Yes, it could with the way we do things.
And
This year.
Remnant 2, that's going to be pretty. Viewfinder, Jesus. I bid on Viewfinder too, you motherfuckers. Okay.
Should have bet. See, you should have bet as much as I did
Should
on
have
that.
bet
Whatever I
Mike's
got.
a $70 or whatever it was, yeah.
To be clear, we'll be looking at your guys after we get through our top 5 here.
I'll be in the top 5, don't worry about it.
Speaking of which, the Mikey League and the Sean League, last of the Critic Dogs, we are both over here. First place in our league is 67.66 points with Like a Dragon Heavy Industries. That's Matt Rare Monkey. He got, surprise, surprise, Tears of the Kingdom and Dead Cells Return of Castlevania DLC.
Ooh, nice.
Unfortunately, his 2 counter picks were ones that he presumably assumed would not release this year,
I'm
which
fucked
would
too.
net him 0 points. He counter picked Starfield and Party Animals. So sorry, Matt, you're just definitely going to get dragged down a little bit there.
Yeah.
Second place with the same score he's had since February with a 34 is Crystal Dynamics, which, as Jeff would say, that's Crystal with a K, managed by yours truly, Turbo Sean. He points out that I had a great draft with Dead Space Remake and Octopath Traveler 2, but I have not picked up any other games. Due to Matt's counter picks, I might as well try to scrounge for anything to close that gap. I would like to point out, like Jeff, I have tried to bid on things, but everyone in my league is nuts and is just throwing all their money at the wall on individual games. So I haven't been able to pick anything up yet.
I got a whole haul last week, but they're nothing I'm super happy with.
Yeah, as I saw you got a bunch of small stuff that'll probably net you, like 5,
handful
10 points
here,
each.
there, yeah, exactly.
Third place with 30.42 points is Atomic Fart, managed by Barf Spackle.
Nice.
That's thanks to solid performances from Hogwarts Legacy and Fire Emblem Engage. With a potential 5 games left to release, there's still plenty of time for Mr. Spackle to close the gap on Matt. Bob points out, Bar Spackle, you are missing your counter pick, so make sure to grab that. Fourth place with 26 points is War Crimes and Other Leisurely Activities, managed by Moonlight 150. That's mostly thanks to Atelier Riser 3, Alchemist, and The End of the Secret Key. Yes, that is one title. Moon also has 5 games left to release, but also infamously counterpicked Super Mario Bros. Wonder.
Oops.
Good luck. Fifth place, last but not least, with 22 points is Bento Games, managed by Super Harmon, who had a very good start to the year with Resident Evil 4 Remake, 24 points there. But unfortunately also drafted Benedict Fox, which dragged him down a few points, but still has a lot of releases coming up. One publisher to keep an eye on is Mike Minotti. Nah, fuck that guy. It's Holy Hail Games, managed by Hail State, who is currently projected to score another 40 points with help from Sea of Stars and City Skylines 3. Now, to round out this segment, let's check in on Jeff and Mike. Jeff finally remembered his login and picked up 3 games. And while his current place is 14th, he still has more points than Mike with some money to spend. Speaking of, publisher Minotti Too Hottie snuck in Planet of Lana to prop up his unfortunately delayed picks of Hellblade 2 and Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Rebirth wasn't a delay, but with $13 left, he still has some money, and interestingly, is actually projected to outscore Jeff right now. We'll see how that ends up.
Okay.
Well, that's my first counter pick is Alan Wake 2, because I drafted that back before we knew when that was coming out, and I assumed it would get delayed, which I'm not pulling for. Fucking delay it. Delay
October, let's go.
Yeah, that's going to be really rough. That's actually what's going to hurt me more than actually the games I selected. I got like Double Dragon and a few other things that I feel pretty good about, but we'll see.
Well, to close things out here, Mr. Benji Bob says he's going to try to get back to monthly recaps now that things have settled down for us. You know, we were very busy with Summer Game Fest and other things going on with Game Mess things. You guys have some stuff. So things are pretty busy, but we'll have in the ballpark of monthly updates for the Fantasy Critic League. Until next time, Bop out. So thank you, Benji Bob, for that.
Thank you, Bob. Appreciate it. Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Sean. Appreciate it. Mike, what have you been playing?
What have I been playing? I did beat Diablo 4. I finished that campaign anyways. It's actually
Are you going to stick with it?
Yeah, definitely. Like, you know, this character, the one I beat the campaign with, I want to do some of the end game stuff with. But in about a week, season 1 starts. I'll definitely make a seasonal character. It'll be a chance to roll a different class. It was fun, though, the way we played it. When I beat it, my brother's actually over. We were recording a 90s Disney podcast. But me and Chris played like on the couch together on the Xbox, and AJ just joined us on his Steam Deck.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so that was kind of a neat way of doing that. But yeah, this was definitely a much better campaign than what Diablo 3 had. The story was better. The characters was better. Just the vibe was obviously way better. But yeah, really, really enjoyed this game. I am excited to dig even more into it.
Yeah, you feel pretty good about the seasonal character thing. I know there's been some back and forth on that, but overall, it seems like a pretty good idea for exactly what you said. You get to pick a different class and mess around with that.
Yeah, well, I mean, Diablo 3 did it, and it was really fun.
No, I know,
Diablo
but I think
3.
some people have been like unsure because like I think not everyone played the Diablo 3 seasons.
So this is like a new concept to some people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're like, I put all this work into my character. I want to keep my character is how some people feel. But I think once they experience it, they're probably going to be okay with it.
I mean, you still can do that. You're just not going to do the seasonal version of this thing. Yeah. Yeah, you don't get, it is like, it's definitely different for some people. Yeah, don't get attached to those seasonal characters. That's not how that works.
Yes, it's a whole other idea for sure. You know what? We could talk about it. Double Dragon Gaiden, Rise of the Dragons. The preview embargo's up. We talk about the first 90 minutes. That is a solid beat 'em up. That is.
We played it together.
Yes, we did. We did a quick look, which will be going up sometime, maybe over the weekend, maybe tomorrow. We'll see. It just depends on Jan's timeline. But we did a quick look of it. Really enjoyed what we played. I think we both described it as crunchy. The combat, the actual beat 'em up part of the beat 'em up feels really good. Punching dudes feels good. Picking up weapons feels great. Bringing in your other characters, because it's like you pick two characters and
it's like a tag team thing,
and you managing their health and using like their special abilities, and then bringing someone else in right away and having that little burst of energy when they come in, and then popping them, and just the combo system feels really good. And jumping into doing a double jump into my flying punch that I had with Bimmy or Jimmy, I can't remember who I was playing as. And
you were Jimmy Lee, I was Bimmy Lee.
Yes, and I was my Jimmy Lee's like flying punch and your drop kick or whatever. It was just a really good time. Another great beat 'em up added to the list. So I'm super into this.
Looks like there's a lot of characters you can unlock. Like, even at the start, though, I could be Marion, who played completely differently. She had a fucking gun.
Yes, right. And you were just shooting one of the bosses, and you killed the boss that way. And it's like, oh, this is great. And it's so like there's going to be a lot of different variety and how the characters play. Jimmy and Billy play different than one another. And that's just like the start. Obviously, the other characters, I can't remember who I was playing as, like Uncle
something,
Uncle Fucker or something. Yeah, and he was
nice.
He's got a kind of a weapon,
shield.
Yeah, and he's got a shield that he just used, and he just like you could just run into people with it at the end of like your sprint, or you could do your special attack, which just you hold it and run across the screen the entire time, and it just does hit, and it's super satisfying. If you take out 3 enemies at once or in quick succession, the screen stops. It's like 3x KO. Here's a hot dog. And if you take out 4 enemies, it's 4x KO. Here's a turkey. So you get some health back. So it's like it rewards you for being super aggressive. They just really thought about what does a beat 'em up need to be interesting in the way that a lot of these developers have, and yet this feels unique and just as viable as any of those other ones. So just I'm kind of like, man, we are just in a golden era of beat 'em ups, and I just can't be more happy about it.
Yep, exactly. Really, really happy with what we played. Very excited to play more of it. It was a ton of fun.
Yes, and then it's just more Zelda over here. I mean, honestly, that's I guess I played the first mission of 6 Days Fallujah. I think I talked about that last week, though.
You talked about that on Bombcast, probably is where you talked about that.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird.
It would make me feel weird.
Yep, definitely. I tried to play Baldur's Gate on my Asus ROG Ally, and that game needs keyboard and mouse until they put it out, I think, for 1.0. So I'm going to go play on the Steam Deck instead. And then I started up Ghost Trick, and by start up, I mean I just got it running on the Asus because I'm going to play that instead of Baldur's Gate 3. But then I keep, like, every time I get one of these new games, I'm like, I really want to play this. I'm like, I just got to finish Tears of the Kingdom, and I am at the end of that game now. I beat the fourth temple. I am looking for the Master Sword as we speak, and once I get that, I will probably clean up a few things, and then I'm going to go beat the game. So probably this weekend, I'm hoping. But at the same time, I'm enjoying it so much that I, like Dan was saying, he doesn't want it to end. That's how I'm playing it. I'm playing it like in a way that I'm like, I am fine if I'm not beating the game right away because I'm just enjoying it so much. So yeah, good video game. Anything else from you?
No, I beat Final Fantasy IV Pixel Remaster, and it was really, really fun. Enjoyed that a lot. But now I'm excited to start Final Fantasy V, which is one of my favorites in the series. So just trucking along there. I might take a little break to actually check out Sonic Origins Plus. Finally, I haven't checked that out since they released a kind of update to it with all that new stuff. Yeah. Well, I don't know how much of the Game Gear games I need to really play. I like those games as a kid, but I like them because, wow, this is on the Game Gear. I don't know if I really need to play that zoomed in resolution. Maybe Triple Trouble would be worth it for. I don't know. We'll see.
All right, Mike. I think that's going to do it for tonight's episode, though. You anything else to say?
No more super chats are in. I think we are done here.
All right. Let me hit this and turn the music back on.
Oh, there it is.
All right. Mikey, where can people find you on the internet?
Twitter, Twitch, Blue Sky, Toe, 90s Disney, 90s Disney.com.
Find me, Jeff Grubb, most places. That includes Blue Sky. I think on Threads, I'm Jeffy Grubb, as Greg Miller coined the name once upon a time.
I did that.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll be streaming on Twitch at some point. Really, I probably just want to get through Tears of the Kingdom, and then I'll stream something else. But yeah, I don't know. Mike, you going to the bachelor party? You got any other plans this weekend?
Well, actually, it's one of my brother's birthday, so when we come back, we'll do a little something for that. But no, it's gonna be a busy weekend. But then I'm on vacation next week, so I can't complain too much because I'm going to hopefully do a lot of nothing. I'll still pop up for any Giant Bomb stuff you want because that's fun, and it'll be easier than ever to do that. But otherwise, hopefully play a lot of Final Fantasy 16 now that I've also gotten Diablo 4's main campaign done with.
Yeah, fantastic. I'm taking some time too sometime soon where I'm talking to Steph about that. It's probably maybe the first week of August. Hopefully, we'll see if I can make that happen. But yeah, looking forward to that. We're gonna take a trip as well, probably out to Chicago or something. Chicago. Gonna go to the other side of the Great Lakes. Yeah, gonna eat some street dogs. Gonna get a hot dog. That's a New York accent. I don't know. Yeah. I liked Dial of Destiny. I think I liked it a lot.
Oh, you liked it a lot. Okay. Nice.
I'm not gonna it's in no way is it as good as any of the original trilogy movies. I wasn't expecting it. I had really low expectations.
Yes, low expectations will help.
It helped a ton, and I was like, those action scenes, they're fun. None of them are as mesmerizing as the rolling ball or
like the minecart chase, right?
Yeah, or the minecart chase. But they were I don't know. I think when he got in the tuk-tuk or whatever, the freewheeler thing, I thought that was really exciting. And then that final sequence really worked for me. I'm like, oh, they went for it.
Yeah, I liked that. I think that's the vice versa people. You can't do anything wacky unless it's Christianity.
Exactly.
That's the only mythology people will accept.
Yep. Or Judaism. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time.
Enjoy your gaming.
My penis works, sadly.
Most people are beating it right now.
Oh, that's my new favorite one. Most people are beating it right